This is my $225,000 watch. And when you hear that, if you think to yourself, $225,000? That's crazy. Then this video is for you. Your beliefs create your reality. And if as a high-ticket closer, you're not living the reality that you truly want to be living, you have limiting beliefs, toxic mind viruses that are self-sabotaging you. I removed these limiting beliefs, specifically the limiting beliefs around money, and I built my income from $0 to earning over $100,000 a month in commissions within 17 months as a high-ticket closer. And I've then trained other high-ticket closers to remove their limiting beliefs. And at the time of filming this video, I have 4 high-ticket closers, 5 if you include myself, that have all earned over $100,000 a month in commissions by installing what are called unicorn beliefs around money. And there are 3 unicorn beliefs around money that you need to have. When you have all 3 of these beliefs, you can maximize your income as a high-ticket closer. If you don't have these unicorn beliefs, you're going to keep getting stuck against a brick wall, which is if you've been in high-ticket sales and you've been doing the sales training, you've been taking the sales calls, you've been learning your objection handling, memorizing your script, and you're still not making the commissions that you truly want to be making, you have limiting beliefs that are holding you back. No amount of sales training is going to fix your limiting beliefs unless you go in and pull them out, unless you rip them out at the weeds and actually install empowering beliefs around money. And so in this video, I'm going to share with you, number 1, how beliefs work. You can't use a tool if you don't understand how the tool works. Then I'm going to share with you the 3 self-sabotaging beliefs around money that are currently holding you back. And then thirdly, I'm going to show you how to remove those limiting beliefs and replace them with unicorn beliefs around money. So without any further ado, let's crack in. The first thing you have to understand with beliefs is what is a belief. If you don't understand what a belief is, you won't be able to go in there, rip out your old beliefs and replace them. So a belief is, very simply put, the relationship between yourself and the outer world. Now, why is there a relationship between yourself and the outer world? Well, the mistake that we often make is thinking that we exist and the outer world exists and we just go through the outer world, but we're not controlling the outer world. There's not really any relationship between the two of us. These are 2 separate things. Myself, the outer world. Myself, the outer world. That's actually not true. You can learn this from spirituality, or you can just learn it from science. If you read quantum physics, you will start to realize that you actually have a relationship to the world, almost like a string. If I pull the string this way, the world comes this way. If the world goes this way, it pulls me that way. There is literally a relationship. That thread is a belief. That thread is a belief. And you have multiple of these threads that are your belief systems. So we're going to focus on just the ones that are around money, which is a high-ticket closer wanting to make more money are the main ones that you need to be concerned about and take control of. I want to start by saying, if you don't control your beliefs will control you. I'll say that again. If you don't control your beliefs will control you. So how does this relationship work? How does it control you? How do your beliefs control you? Well, what we think is that we are over here, the world is over here, and I'm just observing the world, or I'm walking through the world. But the world is fixed, it's static, it just is what it is. It's objective. That's actually not true. What actually happens is you have a belief and you project that belief onto the world. And depending on what that belief is doing, and depending on what that belief is projecting, the world is going to change. So that world is going to become more abundant, or it's going to become more scarce. And your belief is the thing that's actually controlling that. And so we're not actually walking through the objective world that is just the way it is. We're actually walking through a world that we have contributed and participated in creating. And so we have our beliefs, we have the world, and then what we see as the world, what we experience at the world, is actually a distorted version that was distorted because of our own beliefs. And so we have this relationship. We send a belief over to the world, we project that, we enforce that onto the world. The world then changes, and the new version, the changed, altered version of the world, is what we then come into contact with. In simple terms, that's how it works. Now, your beliefs can affect the world in 3 different ways. First of all, they are constructive. They are creative. They can actually make things appear in the world. You believe something, and all of a sudden that thing appears. I'll give you a simple example. Have you ever been out and about and you thought, I wish that person would call me. And then bang, all of a sudden, that person calls you. It's almost too coincidental to think, I didn't have an input on that. You did have an input on that. You actually created that thing. And so that's one example. You can create things. The world is not just this big and this wide and has this many certain things inside of it. The world can get bigger, can get wider, and can be filled up with different things that you created. And you created those things based on your beliefs. Can you see now how powerful and important it is to make sure those beliefs are creating the world that you want to create, because your beliefs, if not taken control of, will actually create a world for you that you don't want to be in, that you don't want to live in. That's why I said before, your beliefs are going to work for you or against you either way. If you don't control your beliefs, they will control you. Your beliefs are always going to be having an input on the world. Whether you send them off and you give them instructions to go and alter the world or not, they'll still be altering the world. They are constantly working whether you tell them to go to work or not. So what about the other two ways that our beliefs change the world? Second way that our beliefs change the world is they filter the world. There's too big of a world out there with too many different things going on for us to pay attention and focus on everything. And so what's actually happening is when we have a belief, we're taking this big wide world and we're filtering it down into a very small, narrow band of things that our beliefs have told us are important right now, things that are relevant right now. For example, if you walk down the road and your head is in the clouds, you might get run over by a car. And if you end up hospitalized and you don't die, and someone comes in the hospital and says, how did you get hit by a car? Did you not see the car coming? You would say, and you're telling the truth, I didn't see it. I didn't hear it. I didn't see it. I didn't sense it. Nothing. It's not that the car wasn't there, and it's not that you couldn't have seen it. It's that your brain had filtered everything down because you were thinking about something else that you deemed more important at the time, and then you didn't see the car. Simple example, can you see how detrimental that's going to be, how dangerous that will be? Another example that might be a little bit more close to home for a salesperson like you that's not making the money that you want to be making. You might have a belief that money doesn't grow on trees and money's scarce and it's hard to come by and it's hard to get prospects and my calendar's always empty. Well, then you're going to find a bunch of broke prospects and an empty calendar every single day. Alternatively, you could have a belief which is there's a lot of people out there with money to spend, money that they want to invest, people that are investors, whether a traditional investor or just someone that wants to invest in themselves, and I'm going to get a load of those people on my calendar. And all of a sudden, you filtered, quote unquote, all the broke people away, and you filtered just down to the people with money. So that's the second way. The third way that your beliefs shape your reality and shape the world, and this is the most complicated one, is they collapse time. We think that time is linear. We have today, we have tomorrow, we have a week away, a month away, a year away, a decade away, and so on. We think there's this linear string of time. But actually, when you understand quantum physics and spirituality, you realize that time, the only time that exists, is right now. There is just now. And so things that we previously perceived as in the future, if we set up the right belief system, bang, they just come to right now. And so that is how some people, like myself as a high-ticket closer, like my clients, have been able to earn over $100,000 a month in commissions and do that so quickly, within 17 months. All 5 of us got to earning over $100,000 a month in commissions within 17 months or less. And yet there's other high-ticket closers that have been in the industry for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 2 decades, and more, and yet they're still only earning $5, $10, $15, $20, $30,000 a month in commissions. Why is that? It's because the beliefs for those people are making time get further and further away. They're actually making time longer. Whereas the beliefs that I've installed, that I helped install in my clients, meant that time got shorter and just turned into the now and collapsed on itself. If we actually spoke to some of my clients, they would say, it feels like I was poor and then I just woke up the next day and I was making $100,000 a month in commissions. And that's how it felt like to me. It just happened so quickly. I remember being poor and then I remember having a $100,000 check come into my bank account on the first month that I made $100,000 a month in commissions. And it all just happened so quickly. So that is a quick lesson. It's brief. This is not a full in-depth training on beliefs. There are books on this. There are YouTube videos on this. You actually don't need to know more about beliefs than what I've just shared with you. Anything more is just educating yourself and, quite frankly, mental masturbation on the theory and the science of beliefs. You need to know how they work so you know the importance and the relevance that this relationship between yourself and the world is either sabotaging you or serving you. And if you're watching this video, you and I both know it's not serving you. That's as deep as you need to go in the beliefs. Now you need to actually take action. And so what are you going to take action on? The money beliefs that aren't serving you. So let's get into that. There are 3 beliefs around money. Now, these beliefs can either be limiting beliefs, toxic mind viruses that keep you poor, or they can be omnipotent beliefs, unicorn mental models that allow getting rich to just almost happen automatically, to allow you to be a money printer as a high-ticket closer. And so those 3 beliefs, when combined, create a trifecta. Now, why do I bring that up? A trifecta means you need all 3 pieces to have full power. And this comes from personal development. You may have heard that you don't rise to the level of your goals, your ambitions. You fall to the level of your standards. If you have one empowering belief around money, but the other 2 on the triangle are disempowering, that empowering belief won't do much, if anything at all. You're going to fall down, and by down I mean get capped at the income level of the 2 limiting beliefs around money. So you need to watch this training until the very end so you know all 3 of these beliefs and you can install them together as a trifecta. Once you do that, at least in the belief category, you can become a unicorn closer. There's a lot of other things you need to learn as far as internal mastery, learning scriptless selling. If you're actually ready to go to the next level and commit to mastery on all of the inner work and how to sell authentically without a script and actually understand human beings, below this video is a link to join my Unicorn Closer Mastermind. You can check that out and take action if you know you're ready. Back to the training. So you have these 3 beliefs around money. And when combined, you have this trifecta. If you install the right beliefs around money in this complete trifecta, you can become a unicorn closer in the belief category. Now, what does that actually mean? It means that you have unicorn money beliefs. You are the 1%. That's what it means to be a unicorn. It is rare. It is an exception. It is not the norm. Normal high-ticket closers are poor. They are in scarcity. They don't have choices. They don't have options. They are not living the life they want to live. That's not why you got into sales. You got into sales because you wanted to have options. You wanted to move out of a place of scarcity and you wanted to create the life of your dreams. If you've been doing all the sales training, learning the tonalities, memorizing the objections, practicing your script, and you're still not where you want to be financially, it's because your limiting beliefs are capping you. Your limiting beliefs around money. So let's get into the first belief around money. The first belief around money comes from wanting or needing more money. If you do not want or need more money, that lack of desire, and it's a strong burning desire to want it, to need it, is going to self-sabotage you. If having more money is a nice to have, fine if I do, fine if I don't, would be cool, but not a big deal, you won't make more money. Because remember what I said, you're not going to rise to the levels of your goals, your dreams, or your ambitions. You're going to fall to the level of your standards. You're going to fall to what you're willing to tolerate. You have to get to a point where your want and your need to have more money is, I'm not fucking willing to tolerate less than this. And so, less than what? What are you wanting? What are you needing? Because it's not literally the money, it's the different identity and the different life. And so let me explain this. Right now, your reality, your life, your identity is like a small circle. And in that small circle fits everything that is your current entire reality. You've never been on a billionaire's yacht. You've probably never flown on a private jet. You may never have even been in a multi-million-dollar mansion. You've never been around multimillionaires. You just haven't experienced those things. And so your experience, your sphere of experience is very small and very limited. And at the moment, you're comfortable with that. You're like, that's just me. That's just who I am. And if I said to you something like, do you want a $225,000 watch? Some of you may say, oh yeah, I really want that. A lot of you would say, not really. Don't really need it. Don't really want it. I'm not a watch person. Not really a watch guy. Not really a watch gal. For some of you, it might be no for the watch. For some of you, it might be no for a supercar. For some of you, it might be no for a big house. For some of you, it might be no for retiring your parents. There are these certain categories that are just not that big of a deal for you. They're not that important. Now, those categories are outside the small identity and sphere of experience that is the current version of you. It's kind of like countries. It's kind of like territory. This is the territory that you currently have dominion over. This is your land. But there's a lot of other land outside of your land which you don't own yet. You haven't taken that land for yourself. And people may say, I don't need more land. There's only one of me. I've only got 2 kids. How much more land do I need? The thing is, it's not about the land. It's if you don't need to take more land so you can get the watch and have the house and have the car, you don't need to grow as a person. And this is the deeper truth, is it's not just about the watch. It's about becoming more as a person. If you truly want to become more as a person, you have to tell yourself you want and need and truly put force and energy behind it, more things. You have to take more land to grow. If you don't need to take more land, you will not grow as a person. Does this make sense? And so how do you do this? Well, you have this small terrain, which is you, and outside in these bigger areas, this bigger circle is the nice watches, is the nice house, is the nice planes, flying business class, flying private jet, all the different things. And so this small circle of this is who I am, this is what I want, this is what I need, needs to expand into this is who I am, this is what I want, this is what I need. If you do not expand, you will not grow and you will not make more money. You don't make more money if this bigger circle would be nice to have, could have that, could not have that, not a big deal either way. Then you'll just stay here. This bigger stuff needs to be essential. It needs to be mission critical to you. Now you might be thinking, but I just don't really want a watch. I don't really need a luxury car or a big mansion. You have to tell yourself you do before you do. This is like they say in sales. You have to take action before you're ready. And when you take the action, you'll become ready. You don't wait to take the action until you're ready, because then you'll just stay there forever. It's like maybe you've gone to the checkout page of the Unicorn Closer Mastermind 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, told yourself, I'm not ready. I'll do it when I'm ready. You become ready when you take the action. You want the watch when you go to the watch shop and start looking at it and start thinking about wearing it or buying it and then having bought it. And I'm telling you that from personal experience. I didn't care about watches. I didn't want watches. It just became a tool and a game to grow as a man, to earn more money. And so I told myself, yeah, actually, I do want a watch, even though I'd never had a watch before, a nice watch before, not at this level. And so here's the story of how that looked for me. Because telling you this story, you might realize it's actually not what you expected. I didn't need a new watch. I had a Amiga, it's $15,000, $20,000 watch, not a big deal, but certainly wasn't a $225,000 Lamborghini on my wrist. And I didn't need a $225,000 watch. I wasn't that into watches at all. I didn't know anything about Rolexes, anything about Richard Milles, nothing. But by having a mentor, just like I am now the mentor to my clients, they also get access to my mentor, the mentor's mentor, the guy responsible for teaching me everything I know about sales and life that took me from $0, broke, no purpose in life, to earning over $100,000 a month in commissions. My mentor told me I need to tell myself I need more things, I need newer things, I need nicer things, or I will get stagnant, I will get complacent. And so what did we do? We went window shopping. We literally went in Los Angeles at one of our in-person mansion mastermind events for our students. Before the event started, we went to the watch shop. And we're looking around, I'm trying on these watches, and I'm like, this is actually pretty cool. Like, I do actually like this watch. I didn't know I liked it. I didn't want it until I was in the watch shop. Now, you don't have to physically go to the watch shop. You can go window shopping online or on a high street in a shopping mall. But you will not want the thing if you keep telling yourself, I don't want it and I don't need it. You have to take control of your beliefs or they will control you. And the first step to taking control of them is this first limiting belief around money, not needing or not wanting to expand your circle of your life experience. There is a small version of you right now that doesn't wear a luxury watch, doesn't own a supercar, doesn't have a big house, hasn't retired your parents, does not have investments, does not have a load of cash in the bank. And there's a version of you that has all of it. There is that version of you out there if you choose to step up and step into that version. But if you keep telling yourself, I don't need the watch, I don't need the house, I don't need to retire my parents, then you will stay here. You will not grow, you will not expand, you will not evolve. It is in essence a little bit of kind of fake it until you make it. You have to force yourself to grow. It's not going to happen because of the course of time. I'm just going to grow as I get older. No. There are people that are still 40-year-old children, 40-year-old broke people. They still have no money. They still don't have a watch. They still don't have a nice car. They still don't have a nice house. They still don't have investments. They are still dependent on their parents or the government to give them handouts. Don't let that be you. And one of the things that will force that to be your reality is if you keep telling yourself, I don't need the thing. I don't want the thing. You have to tell yourself you need it. You have to tell yourself you want it, not necessarily because you want or need the tangible material item, but because it's a milestone to pull the size of who you are as a person into larger territory. You have to expand and take that land. And in that land, there'll be things that right now you're like, I don't need more land. I don't need it. Doesn't matter. If you truly want to evolve, you truly want to self-actualize, you truly want to grow, and you truly want to make more money, you have to tell yourself you want and need these things. And the key is want and need. It's not a small little emotion. It's a burning, ferocious, intense want and need to get those things. Does this make sense? Okay. Let's get into the second limiting belief around money. The second limiting belief around money is that you will have a thermostat. And at a certain amount of money, you move from comfort and basically no feelings, no emotions, into fear and anxiousness at a certain number. Now, that number is specific to what the number is related to. $100,000 on a house, you might think, wow, that's a bargain. I feel amazing. That's awesome. $100,000 on a watch or a car, you might think, oh, I'm scared of that. So the thermostat changes based on what you're buying or what that money is to buy. But you have a certain amount of money that makes you afraid. And your limiting belief is that you have to get beyond that amount of money. You have to break through that fear. Now, how do you do that? You have to spend the money. There is no shortcut. You have to be the captain of your own ship. You have to face the fear. Like they say, the quote is, the difference between courageous and brave people and people that are cowards is not the absence of fear. They still feel the fear, but they do it anyway. There is a certain amount of money that you feel comfortable investing in sales training. $200 a month, $500 a month, $1,000 a month. And there is a certain amount of money that you feel uncomfortable. You're afraid of investing, committing at a higher level to $3,000 a month. If you don't take that leap, what that is actually doing is it is your fear controlling you. Your fear around that amount of money on that thing is something that you haven't overcome. You haven't developed authority or leadership over that amount of money. Does this make sense? So for me, the main reason at the time that I bought this next watch, this $225,000 watch, was the idea of spending $225,000, a small apartment, a Lamborghini on a watch, made me feel afraid. It was a fear of like, that's a crazy amount of money. And I felt that until I did it. And then now I have authority over this amount of money on a watch. It doesn't faze me at all. Doesn't even seem like a big deal to me anymore. And that is evolution. That is you growing as a person. There's no shortcut. There's no workaround. You have to do the thing that you're afraid of. Like they say, face your fears head on. So your second limiting belief around money is fear of a certain amount of money. Your current identity only exists up to this point, up to this level. The next level version of you is on the other side, of that fear line. The question is, will you allow your fear to run your decisions, or will you run over your fear and take control of your life? That is a question that you need to decide. And for a lot of salespeople, the idea of investing $3,000 a month into sales training, into personal excellence, into a mastermind, into a community, into a private group, into mentorship is like, heart's beating faster. I feel afraid. I'm scared of that amount of money. Good. That means you've reached the limit of your current identity. Don't do things that don't make you afraid. You're just mentally masturbating. You're not actually growing. You only grow when you break over your comfort zone, when you go over the line of what you were previously comfortable with. So if you're afraid, that's a good sign. That's like you're on the cusp, you're on the edge. If you take the leap and you take the next step of a massive, seismic, monumental shift in who you are as a person, your identity, going from an average salesperson to a unicorn. That doesn't happen in small incremental steps. It happens every time you cross this barrier of a level of fear at a certain level of money. Okay? Now, side tangent here. The two reasons you need to fix your limiting beliefs around money. Number one is because your limiting beliefs control your reality. Your beliefs are shaping the fact that you're not making the money that you truly want to be making. So if you want to make more money and you want to live the life that you want to live, you have to fix your limiting beliefs because they're creating that life. But the second reason is that you have to be able to help your prospects over their limiting beliefs around money on a sales call. And you can be disingenuous and riff off some fake word track or some analogy or some fake canned metaphor that you've memorized. But conviction and congruence and authenticity always outsells tactics, hacks, gimmicks, and manipulation. One of the reasons I made $100,000 a month in commissions was because I never read a script. I did the inner work. I became the next level version of myself. And so then on a sales call, I could lead my prospects to step up and do the same thing without fake lines. If you want to be able to serve your prospects, you first have to serve yourself. If you want to be able to lead your prospects, you first have to be able to lead yourself. And you know that money fears, money objections come up on a lot of your sales calls. Part of the reason they're manifesting is it's a mirror. That mirror is reflecting at the fact that they're your fears. They're your limiting beliefs around money. You're trying to get your prospect to invest $15,000 paid in full, and you can't even do $3,000 a month to join the Unicorn Closer Mastermind. It's a mirror. It's a reflection. It's God or whatever you believe in trying to teach you a lesson to help you grow and go to the next level. So the second reason you have to fix your limiting beliefs around money as a closer is so you can lead your prospects authentically with true congruence and conviction. You can't lead someone to somewhere that you've never gone. You cannot lead someone to overcome their limiting beliefs around money when you haven't overcome yours. So those are the two reasons. Now let's go back into the three limiting beliefs around money that you need to get solved. So we've done the first one, which is the fact that you didn't want or you didn't need to grow your empire, to grow your experience, to be the guy or the gal with the watch, the boat, the car, the house, whatever. The second one is that you have fear at a certain threshold. Oh, $1,000 on a pair of shoes? Oh, no, that's crazy. That's ridiculous. I'm afraid of that. And by the way, anytime you tell yourself that's stupid, that's a waste of money, that's crazy, that's ridiculous, that's just fear talking. You can rationalize it. You can lie to yourself. You can make excuses. You can say that you're morally superior, that you don't waste money. Money isn't a finite resource. Money literally multiplies. In other words, You spend more money and more money just appears. So it's not you being morally superior or more sensible or having a higher IQ to say, oh, I don't want to waste my money on that. You can keep telling yourself whatever stories you would like to tell yourself. The question I have for you is, how's it going for you? You and I both know the answer. It's not working. So how about you have an open mind and you actually have humility and be humble to say, you know what? I'm going to look myself in the mirror. I'm going to admit the truth to myself that I'm telling myself stories out of fear. And then the question is today the day you're going to step up and face those fears head on and overcome those fears? So the second limiting belief around money is fear of a certain threshold of spending a certain amount of money. Money above that, you're just afraid of. You have to take the action to get past that fear. And by the way, every day, every week, every month, every year that you don't take that action, you delay another 24 hours, another day, another week. That is tens of thousands of dollars in commission that you're flushing down the toilet. I know so many people, almost all of them, that join the Unicorn Closer Mastermind, and they join when they're on a dry spell, not closing, prospects aren't opening up, show rates tanked, not had a good month, had a bad 3 months, 6 months, whatever. And they join the Unicorn Closer Mastermind and bang, immediately they post a win in the private community and they say, my dry spell just disappeared. And we have a joke, a running joke inside the mastermind. We just reply, coincidence. It's not a coincidence. How you show up as a prospect when it comes time for you to buy the expensive thing, the $225,000 watch, the $3,000 a month sales mastermind to become a unicorn closer. How you choose to show up as a prospect when it's time for you to buy is how your prospects are going to show up in your life when it's time for them to buy on your sales calls. If you don't want to keep attracting broke prospects that don't take action, don't be that prospect in your own life. Be the action taker. Be the leader who faces your fears head on. And today can be the day that you do that if you don't want to keep flushing money down the toilet. So now the third and final limiting belief around money. The third and final one is, do you deserve to be making more money? If you do both the first two, but deep inside of you, you feel like you don't really deserve more money, you will self-sabotage yourself. Even if you make some more money and then you spend the extra money to buy the thing, but deep inside you don't feel you deserve it, your external reality will always regress to who you are on the inside, the true identity that you are representing. If you are fake, if you're a fraud, if you are not putting in the work, showing up, working with a mentor in a private community of unicorns who are all going to the next level, and you're just faking it, you will regress backwards. So you'll either never advance to the next level, or if you did some way, shape, or form, and you haven't actually done it through authentic personal growth and doing the inner work, you will just regress. This is why they say the person that wins the lottery that is still a loser, living in their mum's basement, within a year, they've lost the money. It's all gone again. They weren't the person that was a rich person on the inside. So if they just won the money somehow, they go back to being poor because that's their identity. You regress to your identity. So you have to become the person that deserves the money. If you want more money, you need more money, you're going to face your fears of certain amounts of spending money. But deep inside, you're like, I don't deserve more money. That final limiting belief will hold you back. So how do you fix that? No shortcut again. There's no magic bullet. Deserve it. Show up, put in the work, do the internal mastery training, learn how to sell without a script and have a real, authentic, no bullshit conversation. Learn to understand human beings. Get rid of your old loser friends. Start becoming aligned with people that are going places. We call them in the mastermind people that are rocket ships. Bang! They're going somewhere in their life. They are unicorns. Get a mentor. Don't be one of those people that says, I'll just try and figure it out on my own, when every person to ever exist that became a legend had a mentor. Elon Musk, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs, they all had a mentor. Michael Jordan, every one of them. If you do the things that would make you deserve to have more money, you'll have a belief which is, I deserve more money. And when you actually have a belief that's, I deserve more money, you go away from this conflict and this friction of, I want more money, I don't deserve more money. I want more money, I don't deserve more money, to, I want more money, and I'm just going to attract that money. And you just magnetically go and create that money. Because there's no neuroticism, there's no anxiety, there's no friction, there's no resistance, there's no conflict. Truly deserve the money, and the money will come. That is the spiritual laws of sales. It's the spiritual laws of life. So inside the Unicorn Closer Mastermind, we have internal mastery training where you actually become the next level version of yourself. Your health, your emotions, your energy, your state, your beliefs, your environment, your values, your habits, your routines, etc. I trained this to Alex Hormozi's old gym launch sales team, took them to their highest close rates in over a year. One of the key things that stands out with Alex Hormozi's old gym launch sales team is they weren't willing to just memorize hacks and tactics and gimmicks. They knew that the cause of their low close rate was partly the closers didn't deserve the close. They didn't deserve to be collecting more money and earning more commissions. They were smart enough, thanks God to Alex Hormozi, who's a very smart guy, to know you gotta show up, you gotta put in the work, you can't fake the reps. Alex talks about that all the time. So we have a big training inside the mastermind that we uphold with action items and things that people have to post and prove that they've done it, that they then get questions answered, feedback, they review those things, and they update those things constantly, so they're constantly evolving their deservedness factor. This is a phrase from Jim Rohn. It's the deservedness factor. Do you have the deservedness factor? The other thing inside the Unicorn Closer Mastermind, aside from the internal mastery training, is that we have a standard of excellence. It is not for closers that want to settle for $20K a month. It is for closers that want to get rich in sales, make over $100,000 a month in commissions, and become the best version of themselves. That is a high standard, but what's the alternative? Have a low standard and know you don't deserve more money? That's not going to work for you. You've got to have a high standard, you've got to rise up to the standard, and then you deserve more money, and you make more money. So, in conclusion, the 3 beliefs around money, the mind viruses, the limiting beliefs, the toxic ways of thinking are, I don't want or need more money. I don't need a watch. I don't need a car or a supercar. Toxic belief number 2, I'm afraid. I'm afraid of spending that amount of money on the sales training, that amount of money on a watch, that amount of money on a business class flight, $5,000 for an international flight. That's crazy. And then the third and final one is, I don't truly deserve more money. If you do not fix those mind viruses, they will control and minimize to the bare minimum your income as a high ticket closer. As I said at the start of this video, if you don't take charge and step up and control your beliefs, they will control you. Even if you don't notice, because they're subconsciously driving your reality, they are still running the show. The relationship between you and the world is the most important bit. Not you, not the world, the relationship, because the relationship is always impartial. It is always working. It's either making the world the abundant reality that you want, or it's making it a scarcity-based reality. Now you have to take control of that belief relationship, which will change your reality. You are the one that needs to step up and take control of those beliefs. If you don't, they will continue to run the show, whether you do something or not. So the final thing is, how do you make all of this easier? Is there an easy mode for this? Actually, there is. The conflict you will have with your current belief system and the belief system that will get you to your goals and build you the life of your dreams is, as you start breaking away from your old belief system, the surroundings around you will still be that old belief system. And so you will want to be sucked back into it. The weeds will still be there. The roots of those old mind viruses will still be there. And so you'll have this conflict of trying to pull yourself away from it. What is easy mode? Easy mode is, instead of having your old reality be your normal, that you're trying to pull yourself away from your old normal, change your normal. Get around a private group and a community who all are living by a higher standard. They are living by a higher standard of wanting and needing things in their life. They want the house, they want the car. Even, by the way, the ones that are at that part in the process of, I don't quite want it yet, but I'm going to go along with it because I know that that's how I get to the next level. And inside the Unicorn Closer Mastermind, I've lost count of how many members have posted a new car that they bought, retired their parents, retired their wife, got their dream home, traveling business class, been on a private jet flight. All of the things that you say you want are going on inside the Unicorn Closer Mastermind. If that becomes your new reality, instead of you having a conflict of new me, and by the way, new year, new me, and old me, old year, and I'm trying to pull myself away from these two things, you just take yourself away, put yourself in a new environment where that new environment is pulling you forward. It's sucking you into the gravity of excellence, the gravity of being a unicorn. That is the easy mode. You can try and remove your limiting beliefs on your own with your own willpower and more mistakes and more snapping back to the old reality, pulling yourself away, snapping back to the old reality. You can do it that way if you want. But smart people go, why would I use my willpower when I could just change my environment, and then my environment is giving me the willpower to just be like everybody else. Everybody else in this mastermind is committed to making $100,000 a month in commissions, to having a watch, to having a car, to having a house, to retiring their parents, to retiring their wife, to having kids and taking their kids to Disney, whatever it is. If that becomes your new normal, there's no conflict between your old normal and your new attempted reality. Your new attempted reality becomes your new normal and everything becomes easier. Does that make sense? Get around people that are posting their wins, not just financially, I made 50, 60, 80, 100 grand a month in commissions this month, but actually the things that they bought. And then when you see a nice watch, you're like, actually, I never really wanted a Rolex, but now I've seen 3 posted today. I quite like one. I actually like the color of that one. And all of a sudden, you want those things. That is how you make it easier. Get around people that talk about overcoming their fears of spending blank amount of money on a deposit for their first investment property. Get around the people in the mastermind that are posting they paid cash for a brand new supercar. That was yesterday or 2 days ago. Someone posted that. Get around members that are doing the inner work. They're showing up. They're putting in the work every single day. And you align yourself on that path of greatness and you deserve to make more money. So that is the training on how I removed my limiting beliefs around money and made over $100,000 a month in commissions. I've given this same exact blueprint as one piece of becoming a unicorn closer to my clients inside the Unicorn Closer Mastermind. And they have 2x, 3x, 5x, 10x, 20x their income as a high ticket closer. With 4 high ticket closers, 5 if you include myself at the current time of filming this video, going on to earn over $100,000 a month in commissions. And they've all done it, including myself, in 17 months or less. Your life can radically change and it can happen very, very quickly. The thing that's holding you back from having a complete transformation of your life almost overnight is your own procrastination. You keep kicking the can down the road, delaying the decision to do what you know you need to do. You know that getting on the inside of the Unicorn Closer Mastermind, around myself, around the other unicorn closers, is what is going to take you to the next level. The day that you step up is the day that your life changes. From that day on, if you stay on the path, you will remove your limiting beliefs around money and you will build a life of abundance. You will have choices, you will have options, you will move out of a place of scarcity, and you will be able to live the life of your dreams. For some of you, that day is today. For some of you, it's, why am I kicking the can down the road? I'm just being my own worst enemy. I know I'm going to join the mastermind at some point. Why not just join right now? If that is you, below this video is a link to join the Unicorn Closer Mastermind, and I'll see you on the inside.